Once upon a time, there was 3 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail and Peter. They lived in an underground live called the Fir Tree. Now, my dears, said old Mrs. Rabbit, you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there. He was put in a pie by Mr. McGregor. Now run along and don't get into mischief. I am going out. So old Mrs. Rabbit took her umbrella and her basket and 5 currant buns and some buns, and went through the walk to a baker's. She bought a loaf of brown bread and 5 currant buns. Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail, who had got little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate.
Oh no! He was very naughty.
But it's just a book. Then, first he ate some beans, and then he ate some radishes and some French beans. Feeling rather sick, he went to look for some parsley, but round the end of a cucumber from usually meet but Mr. McGregor. Mr. McGregor was on his hands and knees planting out young cabbages, but he jumped up and ran after Peter, waving a rake and calling out, "Stop, thief!" Peter was most deeply frightened when he rushed all around the garden, for he had forgotten the way back to the gate. He lost one of his shoes amongst the cabbages and the other shoe amongst the potatoes. After losing them, he went on 4 legs, and I think he had got away altogether if he had not run into a gooseberry net and caught by the large buttons on his jacket. It was a blue jacket with brass buttons, quite new. Peter gave himself up for lost and shed big tears. His sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrows who flew to him in excitement and implored him to escape. Mr. McGregor came up with a sieve, which he intended to pop on top of Peter, but Peter wriggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him. He jumped into a watering can, yet I think it had good to be hidden in. If it had not had so much water in it. Splash! Mr. McGregor was sure Peter was quite somewhere in the tool shed, perhaps hidden under a flower pot. He began to turn them over, each by one. Suddenly, Peter sneezed. Kerchoo! And Mr. McGregor was after him in no time. She jumped out of a window, upsetting 3 plants. The window was too small for Mr. McGregor, and he was tired of running after Peter, he went back to his work. Peter got out and sat and started to walk, going lippity-lippity, not very fast, and looking all around. There was a door in the wall, but it was locked, and there was no way for that little rabbit to squeeze in. A small mouse was running in and out over the doorstone step, carrying peas and beans to a family in the wood. Peter asked her the way to the gate, but she had such a large pea in her mouth that she couldn't answer. She only shook her head at him. Peter began to cry. Presently, Peter came. Peter slowly. A white cat was staring at some goldfish. Where Mr. McGregor was filling, where Mr. McGregor filled his watering cans, a white cat was staring at some goldfish. But suddenly, a tail twitched as if it were alive. Peter thought it would best to go away without speaking to her. He had heard about cats from his cousin, little Benjamin Bunny. Peter got on a wheelbarrow and peeked over. The first thing he saw was Mr. McGregor hoeing onions. His back was turned towards Peter, and beyond him was the gate. Peter got quietly off the wheelbarrow and started running as fast as he could around a straight walk. He slipped underneath the gate and was safe at last in the wood. Mr. McGregor got sight of him at the corner, but Peter did not care. He slipped under the bushes and was safe at last in the wood. Mr. McGregor hung up the little pair of jacket and shoes for a scarecrow to frighten the birds. When Peter got home to the big fir tree, he flopped. He was so tired, he flopped down on nice soft sand of the floor and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking. He wondered what he had done with his clothes. It was the second little jacket and pair of shoes that Peter had lost in a fortnight. His mother put him to bed and made him chamomile tea. She gave one dose of it to Peter. She gave one spoonful to Peter to be taken at bedtime. But Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail had bread and milk and blackberries for supper. The end.
Oh, that was wonderful, honey. Thank you.